Leilani Beauchamp mysteriously disappeared in the early hours of October 30th after attending a Halloween party. The last information available to authorities at the time indicated that she had left the party in the company of two men. The following day, Leilani's body was found with a head wound. During the investigation, it was revealed that she had been involved in a love triangle with a member of the United States Air Force. Leilani Marie Beauchamp, or Lonnie as her friends like to call her, was 19 years old at the time of the events. She lived in Carmel by the Sea, a small town in California. Leilani grew up in the Sacramento metropolitan area, in El Dorado Hills and Folsom. She attended Rolling Hills Middle School and spent some years at Folsom High School. After her family moved to Monterey, another California city, Leilani began studying at Carmel High School. After graduating, she started college in San Jose. Leilani was last seen leaving a Halloween party in Sacramento in the early hours of October 30th, 2021, accompanied by two men. Leilani was expected to arrive at her family's house shortly after leaving the party. However, she never showed up. That same day, noticing that she hadn't returned, her family tried to contact her, but without success. Realizing something was wrong, they decided to notify the authorities. The Fairfield Police Department, a city located between Sacramento and Carmel, took charge of the case. Quickly, the police were able to identify the two men who left the Halloween party with Leilani the night she disappeared. It was discovered that these two men were from the United States Air Force and lived on the 2900 block of Cascade Lane in Fairfield. After leaving the party, they went to this address. On Sunday, the following day, Leilani Beauchamp's body was found around 5:30 p.m. The body was located in Monterey County at the 300 block of Corral de Tierra Road in Salinas Central Coast. Her body was found thanks to a joint effort between the Monterey County Sheriff's Department and Fairfield detectives. The two men who left the Halloween party with Leilani were the main suspects in the crime. As a result, a search and forensic investigation were carried out at their home, aiming to find any evidence directly linking them to the crime. Fairfield patrol officers, detectives, and members of the Travis Air Force Base Special Investigation Office worked together on this case and determined that a homicide had occurred at the men's residence. Fairfield authorities stated that they were deeply saddened by the event, and their thoughts and condolences were with the victims' loved ones. They requested that people following the case respect the family's grief and privacy during this time. They concluded by thanking Travis Air Force Base and the Monterey County Sheriff's Department for their assistance with the case, and stated that they would continue investigating to understand the motives behind the crime. In total, 3 people were arrested during the investigation. Jessica Yesenia Quintanilla, a 21-year-old woman, mother of 2 children, and former employee at a nursing home in Walnut Creek. Jessica lived in Pittsburgh and was arrested on charges of homicide. She was near the intersection of Railroad Avenue and Lynchide Drive in Fairfield when she was taken into custody. The second arrested individual is Marco Antonio Quintanilla, 27 years old, and father of a boy. He also lives in Pittsburgh and is Jessica's brother. He was arrested on charges of being an accomplice in the crime and violating probation. Marco had been on probation after attempting to take someone's life years earlier. He was released from the Stanton Correctional Facility in Fairfield after posting a $50,000 bail. The third and final person arrested was Juan Parra Peralta, 20 years old. He was detained at his workplace and taken into custody as an accomplice to the crime, but was later released after posting a $25,000 bail. The county prosecutor stated that he could not be charged with the crime and was only a potential witness, which is why bail was allowed for him. Juan Parra is a first-class aviator and worked in an air terminal squadron at Travis Air Force Base. He is also a cargo processing specialist in the same squadron. Shortly after Juan Parra's arrest, the airbase where he worked issued a statement. In the statement, they expressed their deepest condolences for the loss of the victim's family and friends. They stated that they were cooperating fully with the civil authorities to ensure all facts were clarified and justice was served. They concluded by saying that Juan Parra had been placed in civil confinement, meaning he would no longer receive salary or benefits until the matter was resolved. Soon after Leilani's body was found and the suspects were arrested, her family went public, stating they were all devastated. They said Leilani had been a blessing to them all, and that they loved her deeply. Shortly after the tragedy, scammers created a GoFundMe campaign pretending to be the family and asking for donations. The scam was uncovered within a few days, and the fraudulent campaigns were removed from the website. I couldn't find information on whether those responsible were identified and arrested. Authorities stated that the motive for the crime was a love triangle involving Leilani, Jessica, and Juan. Jessica and Juan had been in a relationship for some time, but Juan left the Halloween party with Leilani and went to his house. Jessica showed up at Juan's house unannounced and saw the young woman naked lying on his bed. Jessica then grabbed a gun and shot Leilani, taking her life. A neighbor of Juan told the police that this was not the first time he had seen Leilani enter Juan's house. According to the neighbor, the two had known each other for some time, and despite Juan being in a relationship with Jessica, he often brought other women to his house. Some of Juan's friends told the police that he and Leilani had a brief relationship in the past, but Jessica was his current girlfriend. As for the other man who was also seen leaving the party with Juan and Leilani, and who was also a member of the Air Force, his identity was not disclosed to the public. According to the authorities, this other man simply accompanied Juan and the victim to his house and then left. He had no involvement in the crime, and as a result, he was not charged with anything, which is why his identity was not revealed. Juan Parra Peralta and Jessica Quintanilla's trial only took place 3 years after the crime, specifically in October 2024. Juan told the prosecution that on the day of the crime, around 8:30 a.m., he was lying in bed next to Leilani when Jessica showed up at his house, entered the room, and then shot the victim. He claimed he did not see the firearm and only heard a loud noise. Juan stated that he and Jessica were no longer in a relationship, as they had broken up a few days before, and that she came to his house only to pick up some of her things that were there. According to him, as soon as she entered the room and saw Leilani on the bed with him, she started insulting the victim and then left. She returned about 30 seconds later with a gun. Juan claimed that after shooting Leilani, Jessica coerced him, saying she would shoot him or someone in his family if he didn't help her get rid of the victim. Later that morning, Juan accompanied Jessica to a store called Home Depot to buy some materials, including a tarp to conceal the body. During the trial, authorities stated that Juan and Leilani met through Instagram and arranged to meet in person at a party. They continued dating for a while before stopping seeing each other and drifting apart. Shortly after that, he met Jessica and started dating her. When Juan broke up with Jessica, he started talking to Leilani again on social media, and they began seeing each other once more. The two even attended a car stunt show together in the streets of the Bay Area. Jessica testified to the authorities that she was also at the show and saw Juan and Leilani there. She said that at the time, she and Juan were talking about getting back together. Jessica claimed that she asked Juan not to bring Leilani to the show, but he ignored her request and brought her anyway. After that, Jessica said she stopped talking to Juan. Some people who knew Juan said that he was still dating Jessica when he resumed his relationship with Leilani. Juan denies this. Juan also testified in court that when he and Jessica were together, they bought Glock pistols. According to him, they bought these guns solely for self-defense. According to Jessica, at that moment, Juan was standing by the bedroom door with a gun in his right hand, pointed at her. She claimed that they started arguing and then got into a physical struggle, which caused the gun to discharge accidentally. This shot allegedly hit Leilani in the head. Prosecutors contested Jessica's version of events. They argued that if this were true, considering Juan's position by the door, the shot should have hit the left side of the victim's head, but it struck the right side. Jessica also stated that on that same day, she and Juan traveled to San Leandro and then to San Jose, where they bought items at a store. Later, they went to Salinas, where they disposed of the victim's body, wrapped in a blanket and a white plastic bag, near the edge of a rural road. Once they were done, they returned to Jessica's apartment in Pittsburgh. According to Jessica, at her apartment, Juan took a shower, washed his clothes, and told her not to leave the apartment. She claimed that she and Juan stayed at her apartment for a while before leaving Pittsburgh and going to a neighborhood near where Juan lived. In that neighborhood, they met with Daniel, a friend of Juan's. This friend allegedly helped Juan dispose of the mattress on which Leilani had been lying when she was killed, which was covered in blood. Daniel was detained by authorities but was later released as he had no connection to the crime. He stated that Juan simply asked for his help to get rid of the mattress, and he helped without knowing the situation. Jessica stated in court that only after everything had happened did she call her brother and tell him that Juan had taken the life of a woman. She claimed she told him that she was scared and shocked by the whole situation. This was Jessica's version of events, but according to all the evidence and proof collected by the police during the investigation, this version did not align with the facts. The police collected DNA from those involved, fingerprints, firearms, cell phone communications between the siblings, and data from Marco Quintanilla's ankle monitor. It was proven that Marco helped Jessica threaten and coerce Juan, telling him that if she fell, he would fall too. After the trial concluded, the jury, made up of 7 women and 5 men, deliberated for 3 days and found siblings Jessica and Marco Quintanilla guilty of the respective charges they faced. The verdict was unanimous. Jessica Quintanilla was found guilty of first-degree murder of Leilani Beauchamp. She was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after serving 25 years of her sentence. Her lawyer stated that she was devastated and hoped that the appeal would work in her favor, allowing for a new trial. Marco Quintanilla, convicted as an accomplice and for firearm possession, was not allowed to carry a firearm due to a previous violent crime conviction. He had been free since 2021 after posting bail, but after the sentencing, he was arrested and taken to the Solano County Jail, where he is serving the 4-year sentence imposed on him. Juan and the friend who helped him dispose of the mattress received immunity in exchange for their testimonies, so they were neither tried nor sentenced for their involvement in the crime or its outcome. Family members and others who followed the case believe Juan is also guilty and should be held accountable. Currently, Jessica Quintanilla is in a women's prison in California, where she will spend many years of her life.